Hey, welcome to Oaks Farm Poultry. So glad you're here. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Please press subscribe. We really need your help. We're working on a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers. We have a super long way to go, but we're so grateful for the help and support we get working toward different goals. So please help us. Today on this video, we're looking at a flock of Cornish Rock Cross meat birds. And we specialize in raising poultry that is from Cornish Rock Cross meat birds. We get them day old as hatchlings, and we raise them for 6 weeks, and we take them to a USDA inspected processor, and then we direct market the poultry directly to customers in Southeast Ohio. So this group, like I said, is 3 weeks old, and what we want to accomplish is just letting you see the development of these birds and their progress week to week, because they've been featured in a video that was the day they were hatched when we moved them in, and again in a video when they were a week old and 2 weeks old, and now in this video at 3 weeks old. And so what we're mainly seeing, of course, is growth. They've grown exponentially. They've grown in leaps and bounds. We also have seen, of course, the baby chick down be replaced by feathers, and you can tell by the different birds. Like this is a great example. Actually, they're going to feather in at different rates, like fingerprints. It's unique to every bird. So as we're looking at these birds, we've got one bird over on this side that has feathered in considerably. We've got this bird over here on this side that is still needing to feather in quite a bit. So they're working on it. We don't know, we'd be curious to know, and are trying to kind of keep track of this, but we don't know if that is impacted by if they're male or female. And that's another thing we want to look at today. If we have some obvious examples, I'll point them out. But when we get our birds, we tell the hatchery straight run. And when you are ordering chickens and you tell them straight run, what that means is you didn't pick out all guys or all girls. You picked out whatever nature gives you. So like when we ordered 100 Cornish Rock Cross for this group and we said straight run, it just means as hatched. So we know we're going to have guys, we're going to have girls. So of course the girls being hens, the guys being roosters. But with going to the processor at 6 weeks, it's not that we get them to the point of maturity, for reproduction purposes, but we do pay attention to male and female for growth purposes, because we do see a significant difference. Males will tend to grow faster, get big quicker in their overall live weight, body size, and it does impact behavior to some extent. As they're growing, the hens will actually be a little more aggressive, a little more physical, like from I'd say weeks 3 to 5. But then as we get like to week 6, and if we have to go beyond week 6 for any reason, then we see a lot from the birds that have been identified as males. They are aggressive toward each other, and males will fight. And we see more of that, like I said, at that point of like 6 weeks old. 5 weeks old maybe, but definitely 6 weeks and up, the males will become a lot more aggressive with each other, and we have to watch that. So something here, if I can get on this bird, that bird right there, let's see how close we can get into him there. So I'm going to say that's a rooster. And so why I'm saying that is because like him and the one right behind him, those two faces pointing the same way in the shot, that one in the back, her comb above her beak isn't super prominent. It's still real close to her face. The one closer to us, his comb above his beak is more prominent, standing up higher and straighter. And then also the red under his beak, that's the wattles. And you can see they're redder on that bird than the other bird that had its head up there. Now it's going to sleep. So and then also on this bird, behind his eye, where his ear is, at the base of his ear, it's a little redder there too, that ear spot. So, and I'm saying same thing here on this bird. He's starting to show us his characteristics. That's a rooster. Whereas on the other hand, like the bird right behind him, that's a hen. So it's neat that really before this point, we really can't tell very well what we're dealing with, who's hens and who's roosters. But now, approaching 3 weeks old, we can. So we've got a couple birds eating there, several, and then as some go to the feeder, typically more get up and join them. We've got a lot of the birds resting under the heat lamps, and back in the back here, we've got a bird at the water. So these are all the typical behaviors, you know, we're gonna see from them. A lot of resting. If they can get to a sunny spot, they're gonna come out here and rest in the sun. We can't get a real good picture on that, but that's pretty typical Cornish Rock Cross meat bird behavior at 3 weeks old. They're not training for marathons or anything. They're pretty content to just stay warm and go to the feeder and get some rest. But you know, that's because of the growth rate, because it's just like people. When your kids are sleeping a lot of times it's because they're in a growth spurt. They're growing. And these birds, I mean, they're growing nonstop. They're growing 24/7 for 6 weeks. So, you know, we see that. So here's another good example. We can tell this guy, we're getting the features here. That's a little rooster laying down. And I'd say that one beside it, standing up eating, is as well. And then the next one over looks like a hen. So there's a line of hen laying down. So this, like I said, they're not going to be super active. This is about the extent of what you see them doing. So, hey, thanks for joining us at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. We'll see these birds again in another week and show you their progress at a month old. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.